What's up, fam? It's your girl and I'm back again with another video. This time I'm at another tree. It's been a minute since we sat at the tree. I decided to take a longer walk because I'm trying to end up in my granny backyard. It's on back here. I'm not sure if they know I'm back here, but it's all good. Just want to get on here, share, what my day's been like and how I've been doing. How y'all been doing? How's everybody going through these transitions and seasons, you know what I'm saying? April's almost to the end. I remember we were at the beginning. Anybody else feel like this year just went at 2 times speed? Like, you better hold on, but not even hold on, better be ready for the ride. I'll say that. You better be ready for the ride. I was walking and this lady that I've met before. It's been a long time since I've seen her, but I've had many encounters with this woman. I remember my very first encounter when I was coming back home from Southern during break, and I used to see her, and she used to have flowers all in her hair and sticks and shit. Where I'm like, what the hell going on? And feathers, and I'm like, I didn't understand it. I remember I'm recording video, laughing at it, like, yo, like, what the hell going on? Not to know, like, not even to realize that years later that would be me. And not in the terms of like exactly like her, but to be connecting with nature, to want to wear flowers in my head, to just hug trees and sit in the grass. Like right now, this may look crazy to a lot of people around me, but it's so comforting. So I'm here to say, like, don't knock things before you are in a position. A lot of times we judge things and like, that would never be me, just for us to be confronted with a moment of that being you, of that being me, I learned early to not say that, something won't be me, because who knows what life will bring you to, and how the ways that God put us in a position for us to learn, to not be so eager and quick to judge what we think may not be us, or the circumstances that we may not experience, because it's going to be a root of awakening when you're actually in it. Actually, I had a friend open up about that. She was talking about she was a hypocrite, but I just said she didn't know better. And I'm grateful that, I learned a lot of things early in my life, being introduced to a lot of things early. It isn't, I'm not saying that's the best, but I'm grateful because I'm able to share my wisdom, share my lessons that I've learned from these experiences early. Yeah. Our last video was talking about accountability and responsibility. That was the first lesson. And I would say that would be the second lesson, is to not be so quick to judge. Especially not knowing what life will bring you to. Like, I've experienced homelessness on so many different levels, I've experienced not having means of transportation. I've experienced not having food, and some of these things are fairly even now, And I realized, like, despite having, or in spite, or just in a world that seems so perfect, and I want to propose this to you, in the moments of when you have everything, when you still do the things that you are meant to do, and in the moments when you don't have it, when you don't have nothing, when you don't have anything tangible, but all you have is this, when you continue to pursue your purpose. And that's something that I've continuously come to terms, or will confront, is that in life, and what I noticed that in this world, especially in the world of mental health, and what I see around me in my hometown. There's so many addicts, there's so many homelessness, there's so many abused people who choose to go further in a route of continuing the abuse or soothing. I'll see as another form of soothing, but it's ultimately becoming more a detriment than it does help. And I'm glad that I'm not able to quickly judge them because I could see it. I could see them. I could see a child. I could see a mother. I could see a sister. I could see an aunt. I could see an auntie. Like I just said, an aunt. Like a father, a brother, a cousin, a woman, and a man who just been through life. And this is the ways they're choosing to show up. You know, I may not have chose my life in the same to like, you know, act out in those same ways, but I could notice the similarities. Especially when you get very emotional charged or overly emotional, start eating. You know, you want to regulate, find ways to regulate the body. And just feeling stressed, you want to go to sleep. You know, or if you want to relax, you want to smoke or drink, you know. Today I decided to just go on my walk up this rising because it's been a minute. And mentally, I can't say I've always been the best. Like I do have my moments where I'm in moods, very moody. I have my moody moments. I don't know. Like I used to feel like I had to always see the best in the world. I used to be a person who think the worst, like having having an overly pessimistic mind to being very open. Where it could kind of be a little danger though, because you know it'd be cool if it was a balance where I'm able to note the dark and the light, you know. Because though, and what gives me that example is like a lot of the ways when I think about it, like fried chicken be so good to me, and it's like one of those like, oh, it tastes so good, it be smelling so good, and I know it's gonna be good. But the way my body reacts when I eat oily things, when I eat so much of food that's high in sodium, like my nose and my throat, it gets itchy. So I know my body is in a way rejecting that, but I'm choosing that because of what I just listed. That it smells good, it tastes good, it looks good. Doesn't mean it's good for you. And that comes in terms of people. It took me a while to let go. I'm still learning. Because I could always see the bright side. But it was also parts of the reasons why we are not connected, because there was parts of the not so bright side that was louder or was hurting more. I just want to check in with the folks. How y'all doing? How y'all doing truly? I remember someone asked me, am I okay for real? And at that moment, like a part of my prideful self was like, what do you mean am I okay? I'm here looking at you, aren't I? And they're like, just to think about how life had been going, I know I will be okay. I will be okay. I don't need for anything in the moment. Shit. I walked past my dad's home my dad's house. So I haven't really shared like the insides of my life for real, like what really goes on here. But we have a family home that my dad left my siblings and I before he passed. And when he passed, that opened so many crazy doors and so many questions of wondering, like, damn, what should I do? You know, what do I, not knowing what information, who to go to for help or shit. In the terms of maintaining it. It was something I had pushed off because when my dad had passed my first semester in college, actually, like at the end of the semester he had passed, so I wasn't really too invested in the house because it was already a headache. And I was like, I'm not even gonna be living there. Pushed off that responsibility to even like, man, I let my brother handle that because him and his family had moved in. And they stayed there for a while until 2021, actually 2021. And that is when I moved back here. A lot of things had shifted in a major way that I didn't expect it to. And didn't know how to bounce back from it. Or even if I should bounce back, you know. Then I had become responsible for the house, not knowing what the fuck to do. Like, but the way they left the house was so inside, so dirty. Like the house didn't feel like a home. The yard just felt, a lot had happened there. But I just knew, like I had felt that sense of responsibility brewing up. Like I had to. And that's a lesson I'm learning. Just because you can, or just because you know how to do something, don't mean you should. And that's the whole purpose. Like when I was saying, like, just because something is good doesn't mean you should eat it. You know what I'm saying? Just because a person feels good to be around doesn't mean you have to embark into a long-term journey or relationship with them. Like, it's so many things I can relate that to that I'm learning. Like, I have felt that sense of responsibility to take on that place in debt, that place in dirt, that place in filth, that place, because it was something that my dad had left us. So it took me months, literally. Like, I remember just going back and forth from my grandma's house to my mama's house, even the house. No lights for a while. No water for a while. Just me in a dark home and a dog. That was my reality. Then I started realizing, okay, I could start cleaning this place up. I could start figuring some things out. So I got a job at Michael's. That didn't last long as shit. They give you a 90-day, I think I made it just to the 90 days. Just to the 90 days, man. But that's when I started getting back to like DoorDash. I started making my money on DoorDash, like, and Instacart. Then I managed to turn the water on and the lights on in my name. And that was the first time I ever did that. I was like, oh shit, I'm learning. Because I never really had to have that type of responsibility, like live in college. I stayed in dorm. And then after I graduated, I had stayed with my past partner, then my ex-partner. And it was the like student housing where you only just pay for the rent, which I'm thankful for this space because they didn't really ask much for me to stay there. But I even felt that pressure within myself. Like, I never really felt comfortable staying in places without contributing. And even if I'm not doing it monetarily, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, shit, I'm providing the food. Like I'm pouring some type of way, you know? And that's what I'm realizing now. Like, I'm ready for some sense of, like, responsibility, but not in the ways of a house. I used to feel like I wanted to be a homeowner, a realtor. I wanted to get into that because it seemed like a cool field, but it also felt like a safety. And I wanted to learn the information on how to maintain things like that, you know? I'm literally learning from scratch. But I got further into the home than I started, like, making it feel like a place I wanted to stay. Flowers, always cleaned up in there, cook. I loved the backyard, so I started gardening. That was one of the first things I did. I had built a compost, like a big square, and I was gonna do a raised bed that, from this old bed that my brother had left there from his daughter's old bed. I used the wood frame to make the outside of the bed. And I grew some beautiful things: collard greens, okra, melon, mustard greens. Like, it felt good to be in a place and be like, yo, I could do this. It's very inspiring. Though I went through that hump of shit, not having the money, not knowing what to do, to figuring it out slowly but surely. It was like literally my own little safe haven. I call it my sanctuary. And I never used to feel like I used to live there alone. Like, I didn't tell many people I lived there by myself. I used to say I stayed there with my dad and my family because I did. I wasn't alone in the house. I always felt some other presences in there with me. This plus having my altar space in there, I always had my people with me. And that's one thing I'm noticing now, like, I went through that journey of witnessing that for seemed like a short, long period of time. 2022, like the early season of 2022 that's when I was figuring it out, getting it together. Funds coming in, rolling in. Then fucking hearing about property tax. I'm like, property tax? I didn't know what to do. It was behind 2 years. Like, the property tax was already behind. So I'm like, I'm upset. I was talking to my brother about it. Like, yo, are you gonna pay the property tax? We are behind. I even managed to get the funds and didn't pay the property tax. Like, I talked to myself about that, like, yo. And I'm learning to be financially responsible. That's something I'm learning. I realized my personal year this year is 14-5. And 5 is connected to temperance, like tempering, slowing down, stopping and listening. And I was trying to see in the sexual aspect, like I'm not sure how to, if I'm not careful about utilizing my sexual energy, it could result in me, getting pregnant, which I don't have anything to worry about because if I'm getting pregnant by God right now. They turned me to Mary. So, and it's an 8-year when I was connected to strength, abundance. It's connected to responsibility. So when I put those two together, me going through my 5 year and this 8 year is learning how to temper or be responsible with my finances and with my abundance and the ways that I give and the ways that's been given to me. So this is the lesson for me this year. And just with me reflecting on how the ways that I have came across so much money in my life every year. I do. I'm grateful I come across so much money. I don't even, like, that's why I'm not even pressed about the amount of money now, but it do be moments where I'll be like, I want to go somewhere, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But I'm in a place to learn to how to use my money to leverage itself, to work for itself. And I was so distraught when I didn't end up losing the house, as far as we got help from family. But it costed my living situation. So my uncle took over, he rented the house out to maintain, that's what we say, to maintain the property taxes, but he hasn't been keeping up his end of the deal. And I used to beat myself up about it, like, yo, bro, you knew better, you gotta do better. But I was also in the moment of time, like, I wanted to explore beyond this place. There was another part of me eager and excited for the world that I had stepped into just by traveling, that I, in a way, neglected this home. And I'm paying for it. Probably, sometimes. It costed me my stay for not upholding my responsibility. But I also realized that it wasn't my responsibility, and to learn when to pick up, like, when you assume responsibility for other people, it costs you yours, and it puts you more in the hole than it does bring you out of it. So I'm learning, like, what ways do I need to be selfish with my energy and my resources, and what ways do I need to be giving it. So I've been staying with my mom, and this has been its own thing. It's definitely been an adjustment. It hasn't been the greatest, but it hasn't been the worst, because I've been connected with my mom on a different level than I imagined before, getting to know her in ways that I haven't before. But I've realized that I'm outgrowing that place even. And it's like every time I get that push to come up, it's something that just like tug at you. So that's why I've been so looking into this nomadic lifestyle. It's been something I've been experiencing for the last few years anyway. I come and I go. And I know this place is something I'm passing through, but I'm so grateful to be able to connect with my family before I go. So who knows what the years will bring. I've learned many things. Especially when it comes to money with family. It gets really fickle. People get really entitled. And I don't necessarily like it. I learned to speak up for myself in ways and be confident in my decisions and be willing to stand by the decisions that I make. And those ramifications, those consequences that come with them, you know. It doesn't always feel good. But growing up doesn't always feel good. Learning. Shit. So I guess I would just leave you with this lesson that just because you know how to do something doesn't mean that you should. Or just because something tastes good doesn't mean you should eat it. Just because something looks good doesn't mean you should partake in it. That's that discernment. I'm learning from my downfalls, but the only way up is go through. So I hope y'all enjoyed this message today while I'm at this tree at Granny House. Hope this inspires someone to sit with themselves and ask those questions. Maybe even come up with your own lessons of what you've learned over your journey, your seasons. And if you want to get a further and closer depth consultation about your own numerology numbers, your personal year, your personal month, what to look out for in your seasons, feel free to email me at alamolivus323@yahoo.com. Also reach me on IG and Facebook at alamolivus. Check out some previous videos. I got music. I'm always having music. Visuals, conversations, yo. So make sure you can like, comment, and subscribe, but no pressure. I know my folks will find me once they hear my voice, and they'll know me by my face. Peace, y'all.